Marijuana Industrial Innovation Center. When I mentioned marijuana, what first came to your mind? Don't worry, you're not alone. Most of the people would think of drugs and psychedelic effects. But what if I told you that under the umbrella of cannabis, there's much to industrial hemp and marijuana to provide for us as a very valuable resource than just the psychedelic effects. As we can see here, there are endless, if not thousands of products that we could produce from this plant. The cannabis history in Lebanon, in the 9th century, Arab physicians used it for treatment, and later it was prohibited during the French Mandate. It was used by the warlords to fund their wars, and later Lebanon became the world's third largest supplier of cannabis resin. And after the great economic crisis, the parliament considered legalizing cannabis. I have to conduct a pastel analysis in order to understand the different forces that would affect the implementation of such project. On the economic scale, Lebanon relied solely on the services sector that have all collapsed within 1 year. The banking sector that turned out to be a big Ponzi scheme, then tourism being affected by coronavirus, and eventually trade and transit affected by the Beirut port explosion, the biggest non-nuclear explosion in the world. Then if we take a look at the environmental aspect, we see that Lebanon has plenty of fertile soil that could be, that are very adequate and suitable for the cannabis in particular. But the government is not helping in the agriculture sector at all in general. On the political side, we see that the government have monopolized the tobacco production, as an example, the Regi company. Secondly, we have different political parties with external affiliations, and each one pulling in different direction. And thirdly, we have Baalbek clans who are mostly Shia and support Hezbollah political party, where most cannabis is being grown and where the most number of fugitives. On the legal aspect, mostly Christian political parties were pushing for decades towards administrative decentralization to give identity and freedom for each area. And in case of the success of this regime, it would be very beneficial to the execution of this project. Moreover, the parliament was studying the legalization of cannabis. When it comes to the social aspect, there's no doubt that there's a general negative outlook from society on this plant, and there are up to 30,000 fugitives who are hiding in the mountains and growing this plant as a source of income. A remarkable quote for the American founding father and third president, Thomas Jefferson: "Hemp is of first necessity to the wealth and protection of the country," and it was considered back then as the backbone of the economy. As for the solution, we considered of developing a feasibility study to ensure the right implementation of the project, regulators that represent different political parties, municipalities, governments, and Baalbek clans to be all aligned on the same page, public and private sector partnership to ensure on-site support and logistics, sample project in different areas to ensure equal access, create job opportunities for fugitives to reincorporate them in the fabric of society, empower the youth to innovate and come up with products, and eventually the youth will be creating products that will replace imported goods that were lost after the economic crisis, and will be, of course, exporting to outside of Lebanon. This project is inspired by Eden Park. For me as an architect, I found this was the most adequate project. Thank you very much.